So hello pharma guys, welcome to my channel Easy Learn Pharma. Today I'm going to discuss about a new chapter that's name is liquid dosage form. That's name is liquid dosage form. Okay. So before going to the liquid dosage form, so first of all you should know what do you mean by dosage form. First of all you should know what do you mean by dosage form so that you can easily understand what I'm telling regarding the liquid dosage forms. Okay. So what is dosage form? Actually, so there are so many types of dosage forms are there. So first one is solid dosage form, second one is liquid dosage form, and third one is semi-solid dosage form, and fourth one is gaseous dosage form. So these are the different type of dosage forms. Okay, so that means these are the different forms of a drugs. Okay, so these are the different forms of a drugs. That's why first one is the solid dosage form, second one is the liquid dosage form, fourth one is the semi-solid dosage form, and next one is the gaseous dosage form. Okay, so what is the definition of the dosage form? And dosage forms are the physical form. Okay, dosage forms are the physical form in which the drug molecules are delivered into the site of action within the body. That is called known as dosage form. So what do you mean by liquid dosage form? Now, in which vehicle the drug molecules are delivered into the site of action? So if the vehicle is liquid, so according to the vehicle, it is called known as liquid dosage forms. Clear? Now come to the point. So what is the definition of the liquid dosage form? What is the definition of the liquid dosage form? Liquid dosage forms are the essential pharmaceutical products which involves a mixture of which involves a mixture of active pharmaceutical ingredients and non-drug compound, or you can say excipients. Okay, so again, so what is the definition of the liquid dosage form? And liquid dosage forms are the essential pharmaceutical products which involves the mixture of active pharmaceutical ingredients and non-drug compounds, or you can say that is the excipient. In this excipient, or maximum amount of substance having in liquid. So that's why it is called known as liquid dosage forms. So now come to the point, how to prepare the liquid dosage form. Okay, how to prepare how to prepare the liquid dosage form. So how to prepare the liquid dosage form? So the first point is by dissolving the active drug compound in aqueous or non-aqueous solvent. Okay, so what is the first point? Now our heading will say how to prepare the liquid dosage form. So the first point is by dissolving the active drug compound in aqueous or non-aqueous solvent. That means, suppose I am giving one example so that you can easily understand what you mean by dissolving the active drug compound in aqueous or non-aqueous. Aqueous means all of you know that is under the water, and non-aqueous means that is maybe alcohol or glycerin. Clear? First of all, you take 100 ml of water in a beaker and add 40 gram of sucrose. Okay, so first you take 100 ml of water and add 40 gram of sucrose in it and stir properly. Definitely you'll be marked after some time all the sugar particles or all the sucrose particles are completely dissolved in this solvent. Okay, and that's why it is called as a solution, or in the pharmaceutical term you can say that is the simple C of liquid dosage form. So clear? So that is the first point, by dissolving the active drug compounds in aqueous or non-aqueous solvents. And the second part is, and the second point is by suspending by suspending the active drug compound or the active ingredients in aqueous or non-aqueous solvent. Okay, so by suspending the active ingredients, clear? By suspending the active ingredients in aqueous or non-aqueous solvents. All of you know, aqueous means that may be water, non-aqueous means that may be alcohol or glycerin. Okay, all of you know कि maximum drugs are water insoluble, and to enhance the solubility we have to add some co-solvent, but some of the drugs are there. After adding the co-solvent, that type of drugs cannot dissolve or are not dissolved in this medium. Okay, after adding the co-solvents, till the active drugs are not dissolved in this medium, so in that case, how to take the or in that case how to administer the active drug inside the body. So how to administer, and definitely in that time you have to prepare the suspension. Okay, you have to prepare the suspension. So what do you mean by suspension? And definitely in that time you have to uniformly suspended the active drug in the suitable solvent. Clear? In that time you have to uniformly suspended, okay, uniformly suspended the active drugs in the suitable solvent. So that is called as the suspension, and the suspension are the liquid dosage forms. Clear? So in the suspensions, the active drugs are finely divided and uniformly dispersed or uniformly suspended in this medium. Clear? So that's why the second point is by suspending the active ingredients in aqueous or non-aqueous solvent. As for example, suspension. As for example, suspension. Clear? And the next point is, and the next point is incorporating incorporating the active drug or active ingredients into oil or water. Okay, so what is the point? By incorporating the active ingredients or active drug compounds into oil or water. That means you have to incorporate, okay, you have to incorporate the active drug compounds into oil or water. Okay, so all of you know if these are the two immiscible liquids are there. One is oil, another one is the water. So these are two immiscible liquids are not mixing properly. So that's why that is the example is emulsion. So definitely you have to mixing the two immiscible liquids by using the third agent, that is the emulsifying agent. Clear? So by using the emulsifying agent, you have to mix the oil and water. Clear? So by incorporating the active ingredients, that means what? That means if you will be prepare the oil in water or water in oil emulsion. Suppose we will prepare the oil in water type of emulsion. In that time, definitely you have to incorporate the oil inside the water, because in the emulsion, the active drug is the oil. Okay, in the emulsion part, there are two parts of there. One is oil and another one is the water. And in the emulsion, the active drug is the oil. So if you will be prepare the oil in water type of emulsion, so in that time, definitely you have to incorporate the oil inside the water. Or if you will be prepare the water in oil type of emulsion, so in that time you have to incorporate the water in the oil, because in this case water is the dispersed phase and oil is the continuous phase, and in this phase oil is the dispersed phase and water is the continuous phase. So that's why by incorporating the active drugs or active ingredients into oil or water, as for example emulsion. Okay, so again I'm repeating that part, how to prepare the liquid dosage form. Now the first point is by dissolving the active ingredients in aqueous or non-aqueous solvent, and second one is by suspending the active ingredients in aqueous or non-aqueous solvent, and third point is by incorporating the active ingredients into oil or water. Here, next part I will be discussed. Next part is the classification of liquid dosage form. Okay, classification of liquid dosage form. All of you know the liquid dosage forms are classified into two categories. One is monophasic, another one is biphasic. Okay, so the liquid dosage forms are classified in two categories. One is monophasic another one is the biphasic. So what do you mean by monophasic and what do you mean by biphasic? Monophasic means what? Simply you can say the monophasic means that is a single phase. Okay, simply you can say that is the single phase. Single phase. Okay, so what is the definition of the monophasic? These liquid dosage forms contains only a single phase. Okay, this liquid dosage form contains only a single phase. So what is the example? Suppose you can take suppose you take 100 ml of water. Suppose you take 100 ml of water in a beaker and add that 40 gram of sucrose in it and stir properly. And definitely after some time will be marked all the sugar particles are completely dissolved in this medium. Okay, and after dissolution, can't mark how much amount of sucrose will be present inside the medium. Okay, after dissolution properly or after dissolved, you can't identify how much amount of sucrose will be present inside the solvent or inside the 100 ml of water. So that's why or why now because it is converted into a single phase. Okay, and it is shown a clear solution. So that's why it is a monophasic liquid dosage form. So what do you mean by monophasic? Now monophasic means you can say that is a single phase, or you can say this liquid dosage forms contains only a single phase. And that single phase, okay, that single phase, it is represented by a true solution. That single phase is represented by true solution. So what do you mean by true solution? Now when the sucrose particles are completely dissolved in the 100 ml of water or are completely dissolved in the suitable solvent, and after dissolution you can say that is the true solution. So what is the definition of a true solution? A true solution is a homogeneous mixture. Okay, true solution is a homogeneous mixture in which the solid particles are completely dissolved in the suitable solvent. So that is called known as true solution. Clear? And next part is biphasic. Clear? So what do you mean by biphasic? All of you know, according to the name, biphasic means that is the two phases are there. Okay. So what do you mean by biphasic? Now biphasic means according to this name, you can easily understand if there is two phases are there. One is continuous phase or one is the dispersed phase. One is the dispersed phase, another one is the continuous phase. One is dispersed phase, another one is the continuous phase. As for example, or it is represented by suspension or emulsion. Okay, in the suspension what will happen? In the suspension there are two phases are there. One is dispersed phase, another one is the continuous phase, and always the solid particles act as a dispersed phase in the suspension. But in this case, but in the emulsion case, okay, there are two types of emulsions are there. One is oil in water, another one is the water in oil. So according to the oil in water, according to the oil in water, oil is the dispersed phase, water is the continuous phase, and according to the water in oil, water is the dispersed phase and oil is the continuous phase. Clear? So these are the classification of liquid dosage form. So one is monophasic, another one is the biphasic. The biphasic, okay, the biphasic, it is represented by emulsion and suspension. But in the monophasic it again divided into two categories. One is external, another one is internal. Okay, so monophasic liquid dosage form are again divided into two categories. One is external monophasic liquid dosage form, another one is the internal monophasic liquid dosage form. So what are the liquid dosage forms under the external and what are the liquid dosage form under the internal monophasic liquid dosage form? As for example, in the internal, if that is syrup, elixir, linctus and drops. Okay, so first of all you should know what do you mean by internal monophasic liquid dosage form. That means those liquid dosage form you have to administer inside the body or into the body, and that liquid dosage form enters into the systemic circulation and shown the therapeutic action. So that is under the internal monophasic liquid dosage form. So simply you can say if those liquid dosage form enters into the system in circulation and shown the therapeutic action, then that is under the internal monophasic liquid dosage form. As for example, syrup, that syrup you have to administer through orally, and that syrup enters into the system circulation and shown the therapeutic action. Next one is the elixir, next one is the linctus, last one is the drops. Okay, that means which type of drops, and those drops you have to administer through orally. Clear? So that is under the internal monophasic liquid dosage form. And second one is the externally or external monophasic liquid dosage form. So what do you mean by external? External means those liquid dosage forms you have to apply it on the body. Okay, you have to apply it on the body, not into the body. Those liquid dosage form you have to apply it on the body, that may be skin, okay, or that may be on the body. So such type of dosage forms under the external monophasic liquid dosage form. As for example, liniments, okay, eye drops, ear drops, some lotion, okay. So these are the externally or external monophasic liquid dosage form. Clear? So that is the classification of dosage form. Again, I am repeating that part. The classification, it is of two types. One is monophasic and biphasic. The monophasic again divided into two types. One is external and internal. In internal, syrup, elixir, linctus, and drops. In external, liniments, eye drops, ear drops, and lotions are there. But in the biphasic, it is represented by two. One is emulsions, and another one is the suspensions. Clear?